All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It is exciting to be here in the wonderful State Farm Arena. I am glad to be here with Chairman Jamie Harrison and the DNC officers, as well as our great Congresswoman Nakima Williams and all of the DNC attendees. And we're just so excited that this body has selected Atlanta, Georgia to be one of the finalists to host the 2024 Democratic National Convention. And we just wrapped a big tour of State Farm Arena. I saw a lot of eyes light up, a lot of excitement, and we wanted to show them a lot of Southern hospitality. So I'm thankful for Steve Koonin and the whole team here at State Farm for really doing that, and I love it here. I love this place. Atlanta really does stand apart from the other finalists for a variety of reasons, and we're going to talk about that, and we've been talking about that because we provide a really good world-class experience, and we will do so for the delegates, the visitors, and the media when they come. State Farm Arena is the state-of-the-art arena, as you know, and we are the crown jewel for entertainment and concerts and the NBA. In 2020, we've highlighted this, that State Farm Arena was really used to be the largest massive early voting precinct in the nation. Switching this arena into a place where people can exercise their right to vote, that really felt good, and it was the right thing to do. 50,000 people came here to cast their votes, and of course we know that election was decided by roughly 11,000 votes. So this arena really made history, and this arena is newly renovated, and it includes premium suites, hospitality venues, and it's second to none. And it's the first NBA arena and concert venue to be zero waste, and that's a principle we can all get behind in sustainability. Of course, it is located in our downtown area that's adjacent to the Georgia World Congress Center, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and all of this allows for a lot of media spaces, caucusing areas for meetings. And I don't think any other city that is in competition has this amazing ability to have all of the restaurants, businesses, and the convention space all within walking distance like we do within a mile. This is why we want to be a turnkey solution for the DNC, to have an all-in-one solution, as we're right here in walking distance to everything in 30,000 hotel rooms. Countless events have been hosted by the city of Atlanta. This is what we do. We do big well, from the Olympic Games to Final Fours to the NBA, NFL playoffs to championships, and of course we've just been selected for FIFA World Cup, and we're going to have some pretty good matches in that regard. And we've had the DNC convention before in 1988. Having the world's busiest and most efficient airport doesn't hurt to be able to do this event and to have 80% of the continental United States flights being able to come within a 2-hour flight to come here. And our MARTA allows people to get around in mass transit. We know hospitality well, and that's why out of the cities that selected, we are we actually have the most affordability when it comes to room rates for the delegates and the donors and the sponsors. So our business community, like those here at State Farm, like Delta, like all the rest, they step up big in civic support, and they have all said that they will be here to give their support financially and civically when and if Atlanta wins this bid to be the DNC 2024 location. So year after year, planners choose us for large-scale events of all kinds, and and that's partly because of our ability to be turnkey, to have this location, but also because of our diversity. Diversity and inclusion is in our DNA, and we know that we are the backbone of the civil rights movement, the home of these HBCUs, and LGBTQ community as we express ourselves and making sure that our policies match our heart, that Atlanta influences everything, but Atlanta also includes everybody. and we have a thriving AAPI and Latino community as well. And so we welcome folks to Atlanta daily, and we hope that the DNC enjoys their stay here. And we look forward to working with you, Jamie, and with your team, and to all of the members here in the DNC leadership. And so Atlanta is excited. As you know, we are all abuzz. We're enthusiastic to have you come here today. But we also want to make sure that you stay for a while, all the way as we go through 2024 together to make history once again. So now I'll turn it over to a great Atlantan, my friend, Congresswoman. No, actually, I'm going to Jamie. I'm going to the chairman, my other friend, but not Congressman, to the DNC chair, Jamie Harrison.
Thank you so much, Mayor. It is indeed an honor to be here in Atlanta. So I want to thank Mayor Dickens. I want to thank our wonderful Congresswoman and State Party Chair Nikema Williams. Earlier we saw Mayor Shirley Franklin and so many folks for welcoming us here today, as well as the entire convention team for the city of Atlanta. And the wonderful people here in State Farm Arena. I am duly impressed with this arena. It is, we've gone all over the country. We've seen a lot of arenas, but this is definitely a unique arena, and it is beautiful. You know, I am joined here today by several of our DNC officers. Many of you also know that Keisha Lance Bottoms is also an officer of the DNC, the former mayor of Atlanta, and she's a dear friend. But I'm also joined here today by Ken Martin, who is our vice chair, and he's the president of the association of all of the Democratic Party chairs and committees across the country. We have Chris Corge here, who is our money guy, the finance chair for the DNC, and Jason Ray, who is our secretary. You know, I was excited about being here today, and I saw the excitement from Chair Williams and from the mayor as well. But I told them earlier that the most excited person about having us come here today was my mom. My mom lives in Smyrna and works at Georgia State, Patricia, and I can tell you she was overjoyed at the idea that we were going to be here for this convention. Folks, you know, we have been going all across the country. We have 4 amazing cities that are vying for the DNC convention in 2024. Atlanta, New York, Houston, and Chicago. And I tell you, it's going to be a hard decision. But let me tell you about Atlanta. Atlanta is a city that represents the Democratic Party's values, the values of diversity, inclusion, and opportunity. And Georgia has shown us that we can beat the odds when we invest in the grassroots and when we lead with our values. You know, outside of this bid for the convention, the Democratic Party owes Georgia an entire, a whole lot. Because in 2020, for the first time in 20 some odd years, right? 28, but who's counting? Georgia cast its ballot for the Democratic nominee and now the President of the United States, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And then, a few months after that, Georgia decided to step up once again. Because when the pundits said to us, you know, Democrats don't win runoff elections in Georgia. Well, for the first time, Democrats didn't win 1 runoff election, we actually won 2. And we have 2 United States senators in John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock. And those senators have been able to do some amazing work to turn this country around. The American Rescue Plan. Now you got $100 million coming into the state of Georgia for broadband. Transportation, roads, bridges, cleaning the water, all of that's happening. And very soon we're going to see even more come out of this Congress in order to improve the lives of the people of this great state and the people across this nation. So we owe Georgia a great debt. And, you know, partly I want to make sure in this conference that you all know that we have such gratitude for Georgia for their leadership and for stepping up, doing what is in the best interest of the country. So I just want to say thank you on that note. But I want to close by saying, what are we looking for? And I can't stand at this podium without remembering someone who was a friend and mentor, and Nekima now sits in his seat, the great John Lewis. You know, as a little round-headed boy from Orangeburg, South Carolina, I got an opportunity to work on Capitol Hill for a number of years with Jim Clyburn, but I also worked with John Lewis. My office, I shared a wall with Congressman Lewis. And oftentimes, with his office that was in the Capitol building, oftentimes Mr. Lewis wouldn't be in his office, he'd be around doing things, but I would just go into his office from time to time and just sit there by myself, looking at the walls, looking at his pictures. And then one time he came in and he said, "Young brother, how are you?" I said, "I'm doing well." He said, "You need anything?" I said, "No, Mr. Lewis, I'm just admiring your wall." I said, "It's like a living museum coming in here." And he said, "Young brother, let me just tell you one thing. You work hard, but you never give up. You never give up. This state, this party in this state, the people in this state never gave up. And so we can't give up. We got to continue to fight to make sure that everyone in this country can live the American dream." So when you think about a Democratic convention, this is a rare moment. It is a rare moment. I would not be on the stage right now today as DNC chair because my first political memory was the 1988 convention in which Reverend Jesse Jackson spoke to young people. And you know where that convention was? Right here in Atlanta. It was that moment when he told young people to stand up and to build the future that they wanted. And that inspired me to get involved in politics. And so I'm looking forward to continuing to hear the story of Georgia, of Mr. Lewis, and why this place will be an ideal place to host the 2024 convention. So with that, I turn it back to my friend, the Congresswoman who represents the district that John Lewis represented for so long. And she's also the state party chair, Nekima Williams.
Thank you, Jamie. Y'all, I am Congresswoman Nekima Williams, and I have the honor of my life succeeding my hero, my mentor, and my friend, the late Congressman John Lewis, serving Georgia's 5th Congressional District. But I also have the opportunity to work with my colleagues here in the DNC and work with Chairman Jamie Harrison as the chairwoman of the Democratic Party of Georgia. Mayor, I hope today that we're able to show all of our guests that the true North Star in the Democratic Party is right here in the Deep South.
That's right.
That's what we're here to do today, y'all. Y'all, Atlanta and the wider state of Georgia represents the future of the Democratic Party of Georgia. Over the past decade, Democrats have made electoral gains in Georgia year after year after year, powered by our growing and diversifying greater Atlanta metro area, the heart of which I'm so proud to represent in Congress. And now, y'all, Georgia is the premier battleground state in the country. We cemented our battleground status when we delivered our state's 16 electoral college votes, 16 valid electoral college votes, giving Joe Biden and Kamala Harris the presidency and the vice presidency. Y'all, the first time in 28 years, Georgia delivered the state on the presidential ticket for Democrats. And we became the premier battleground state when we flipped not one but 2 U.S. Senate seats, securing the Senate majority for Democrats and giving our partners in the White House what they need to make progress and history, from not only passing the American Rescue Plan, Jamie, but the bipartisan infrastructure law that is changing lives in this state. And y'all, also confirming the first Black woman ever to sit on the Supreme Court. Y'all, our path to becoming the most competitive swing state in the country, it didn't happen overnight. And it was the result of years of hard work from organizers, volunteers, and staff committed to the Democratic Party, our candidates, and our vision for not just the state, but our vision for the country. And in just a few cycles, we've built the voter enthusiasm, grassroots volunteer-based, diverse coalitions, national fundraising success, and organizing blueprint needed to win in Georgia, and providing the template for Democratic success in the wider Deep South and in purple or periwinkle states, as I call them, across the country. But we couldn't have done it without the fantastic partnership of our national partners at the DNC that understands the crucial role that Atlanta plays as the Democratic core of the nation's top battleground state. But Georgia Democrats aren't done, y'all. We're just getting started. Our momentum is only growing, and voters are fired up and ready to get out the vote this November and turn our state even more blue. We're ready to show the country and the world that what happened last cycle, y'all, it was not a fluke, and that Georgia will continue to play a pivotal role in Democrat success throughout the country for years to come. Compared to some of the other states under consideration, I know you have to be really nice, Jamie, but y'all, Georgia has something to prove and the South has something to say. We're eager to demonstrate that we are worthy of the continued national attention and investments, which means that if Atlanta is chosen to host the 2024 Democratic National Convention, we'll be committed to delivering a world-class experience for all of those attending and committed to strengthening our world-class campaign operation that will propel Democrats to victory in November 2024. Atlanta, Georgia has always been on the front lines of the fight for progress. Hosting the Democratic National Convention in Atlanta will be a celebration of our growth as a party, and it'll be a recommitment to the values that have sustained us, the voters that elected us, and the vision for the future that we're all fighting for. And now I'm going to turn it back over to my mayor so that we can continue to show you why Atlanta influences everything.
I'm ready. Thank you, Congresswoman Williams. And you've heard from the chairman, you've heard from Congresswoman, so we're available to take any questions. Yeah. I'll let you go.
Well, listen, one of the things that I'm a big believer in, and I like to call myself a Howard Dean acolyte in the 57 state and territory strategy, which is you got to invest and compete everywhere. And we know how important Georgia is right now in terms of the national political scene. You got two races this cycle that are not only two, but two are the top races this cycle that are here in Georgia, that most people across the country, even across the world, are paying attention to. The governor's race that will take place this year, and the United States Senate race. And so, again, Georgia is right at the center of a lot of the political activity in this country. And so I think it's well placed, and it's part of the reason why Atlanta is one of the finalists in the selection process. And so we will go through this process. The one thing that I like to tell folks is that, you know, for a few things that we're looking for a turnkey operation, something that is seamless, because the experience of the delegates, the press, and everyone attending the convention is really, really important. We don't want people to be staying out in the nosebleeds communities. Not that anything's wrong with those communities, but you need to be able to get to the arena. You need to get to your meetings in a timely fashion. But the most important thing is the show. This will be, understand the uniqueness of this convention. This will be the first time in over 4 years that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will actually get the full attention of the entire country. He didn't have a regular convention in 2020. He didn't even get an opportunity to have an inauguration. And so this is going to give Joe Biden the opportunity to say who he is to the entire country and to the entire world, to hear his story. And so we need a city that can help amplify that story, that can be a part of that Joe Biden message. And so that's why it's going to be hard, because we got a lot of great cities, but Atlanta has already shown that they are right at the top in terms of telling their story and vying for this bid. Yes? I'll let the mayor say that.
Yeah, thank you for that question about the impact on our economics. So I view this as an economic development operation as well. Of course, it's about the party, the Democratic National Convention, but it's also about Atlanta being able to capitalize off of all that will come this way during this convention. Some estimates, from other cities that have recently held the convention are in the $230, $250 million, depending on how you configure the days and all the events and activities. So this can have a huge economic impact for just that week. and the days around that week, but then for years to come, as Atlanta continues to be on the national stage, the economic benefit has a long-lasting timeline to it. And so it's substantial. And I'm grateful that we're in the top 4. So once you combine that with all the other great opportunities we have to host here in Atlanta, this is big.
Mayor, I would also add is, one of the things that we talk about is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that is a big requirement that we're looking for to make sure that the vendors that benefit from the convention aren't just the big boys in the business community, but also the diverse vendors, the small businesses that are in the communities, the women-owned businesses, the minority-owned businesses. Because again, this is about showcasing the diversity of our party. The Democratic Party looks like America. The voters who make up the Democratic Party look like America. The vendors that are going to work for the Democratic Party will also represent the great diversity of America. Ronna McDaniel can't say that, but I can.
Well, wait a minute, because I want to double click on what he just said. Since we, this is the dating round, the speed round, so we're gonna stay here, and I'll get to your question in a second. But as we all know, Atlanta does economic inclusion. That's why. So when we talk about $250 million possibility for or more economic impact, we have the biggest diversity program in terms of disadvantaged business, minority businesses, women-owned businesses, whether that's us being the hallmark of that, the creators of that program at the world's busiest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, where we wrote the playbook and the framework for economic inclusion, to even the shirt that Nakeema's wearing today is a small black-owned business. Atlanta influences everything. And the Hawks organization has, shared interest into this company, as they have across here are small businesses that operate right in this facility. So when we talk about economic impact, as Chairman just said, as rightfully as Chairman just said, the democratic values of economic inclusion, we got that in our DNA coming out of our bones, and that's going to be a part of, that's already in our package, and that's a part of our ongoing legacy. Now, your specific question again was about when will he make his decision? I think he made it a few minutes ago, but I'll let him tell you.
I know. So Atlanta's our last city that we are visiting. We just came from Chicago, and we're now here in Atlanta. So over the course of the next few weeks and months, we will sit down with our technical assistance team to kind of make an assessment to get the final questions answered from all of the cities. We hope to have some more conversations with them, and our time frame right now loosely is the end of the year, first of next year, to make the announcement on where we're going to have the convention. They won't.
They got a microphone over here.
Oh, okay. So this was the first big site that we saw, and we're about to, right after this, we're going to wrap up and then go and take a look at some of the other sites. I think we're going over to the convention center. We've been at some of the hotels that we're looking at, because hotels are a really, really important component to the convention. So we will be spending some time there, and then talking with many of the mayor's staff and some of the other business leaders in the community about some of the technical aspects of the convention. But again, it's a robust 2 days, and so we're really looking forward to it.
Two questions for the chairman.
Well, there is no doubt that Joe Biden is the most labor-friendly president in the history of this nation. And so that's going to continue to be a very, very important component for us. And it's a part of the bid. And so the mayor and his team are well aware of that, and folks are talking about that, and that will be a part of their presentation. I'm sure the mayor would be happy to talk. I will let the mayor and the congresswoman.
Okay. To your first question, we have union representation here, James Williams. We have the North Georgia Labor Council. They are a part of our bid package to the DNC. And so labor, I'm a child of labor. I grew up in labor. So we make sure that we have careful considerations about how to include labor. And of course, our president, Joe Biden, is the biggest labor president we've had. He's very keen on that. So we are matching party ideals all the way up to the presidency on how we go about our labor relations, particularly around this convention. But then, as you mentioned, relationship with Governor Kemp, he's aware that we're here. We've already communicated about this. We've talked, as well as our team has talked about what it would be like with the convention being here. Matter of fact, when I leave this stage, I'm going to have a meeting with him right now in a few minutes. So we're conversing about it, and we understand economic impact, and to make sure that we do the right thing. What did you say?
Dollars are green.
All right, dollars are green. All right, I think they say we have time for one more question. JD?
Some of the, you mentioned, I believe, Delta or maybe some other corporations that are supporting this. Are there any other kind of private buy-in that you can speak to right now when it comes to this convention?
Yeah, so again, like I stated earlier, I see this as an economic development opportunity as much as all the other values-based things too. And so in doing this, we go out and we share this opportunity with the civic and corporate community. And I've made no less than 20 or so phone calls to corporate CEOs as well as organizations asking for their support should we win. And we have a roster that really shows how much they're willing to contribute, everything from advertising dollars to suites to just sponsorships of in-kind opportunities and, volunteer support. All the business community is really showing their full faith in the relationship with the city of Atlanta and the DNC. And so I'm looking forward to that. It helps us tremendously to be able to meet the needs to finance the convention. And it's all in our package of what our sponsorships will look like and how, once we get into the nuts and bolts of it with the DNC, but already top line, we're there in terms of sponsorships and the corporate community. I mean, almost to each one that you would, understand I would likely call, all of them are saying, we want to host, we're excited, we want to continue this legacy of Atlanta, showing ourselves to the world and, of course, to this nation. So they're in support. All right, guys, thank you all.